Save the Children and Action Against Hunger have jointly concluded the Expanding Social Protection for Inclusive Development project, which is aimed at strengthening social protection systems in Zamfara, Jigawa, Kano, and Kaduna States. A project funded by the UK government through the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, aimed at reducing poverty, improving the social protection system by providing access to essential service for vulnerable communities. The Country Director Duncan Harvey, in his keynote address, he highlighted key achievements, stating that the program was initially launched as the Child Development Grant Program in 2013, targeting over 90,000 households to combat poverty, hunger, and child malnutrition. Duncan added that despite challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic, inflation, and global economic shocks, the ESPID program has helped build a foundation for future interventions.
So the program has evolved over 3 significant phases. The first phase, which was really a notable success, ran from 2013 to 2019. The Child Development Grant Program was a pioneering pilot project that reached over 90,000 households. Its goal was to reduce widespread poverty, hunger, and child malnutrition in northern Nigeria through a mixture of cash transfers, counseling, and a campaign to change behaviors around maternal and childcare practices.
They can therefore encourage stakeholders to continue advocating for the improving social protection measures to ensure that Nigeria's most vulnerable populations, particularly children, are not left behind.
We've seen low levels of political will to implement the changes and reforms that are needed. Yet increasingly, there are also promising opportunities. We see the presence of supportive policies and legal frameworks, the growing interest of donors and development partners, and the possibility to design shock-responsive programs in response to the multiple crises that the government has, that the country has faced. So I'd like to express my deep appreciation to the federal government of Nigeria and to the state governments in Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, and Zamfara for your continued support, for your partnership, and the proactive steps that you've been taking to strengthen social protection systems both at the national and the state levels. None of the progress that's been made through ESPID would have been possible without your full and active leadership and support, so we're extremely grateful to you for the commitment that you've shown and for the key policymakers and decision makers who've contributed to those successes. Finally, I extend our heartfelt thanks to our civil society partners. Really, your tireless efforts have been and will be essential in ensuring that citizens can actively influence the design, the monitoring, and the accountability of social protection initiatives across Nigeria.